Hockey is for everybody. In Cleveland loves hockey. Cleveland also has a long history of embracing sports to break barriers and striving for equity. Some are born to the game, some discover it, some break barriers and pave the way for the future. Monsters Black History Celebration is about recognizing those in the Monsters family on the ice and behind the glass who make the game of hockey the game we love and grow the game for all of us.
I'm Jack Greaves from Cambridge, Ontario.
My name is Tommy Thomas. I grew up in Akron, Ohio.
Went to Cleveland Public Municipal School District at Lincoln West High School.
So I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, this will be my 7th year with the organization, so it feels like it's been a long time, but also a short time.
I've been a fan for about, I'd say a good 10, 15 years.
I'm 70 years old. When I began working here, began my exposure to hockey.
Parents said that when I was in the hospital after I was born, I wouldn't stop crying unless there was a hockey game on the TV.
Hockey wasn't anything exposed to me or really my friends that I grew up with.
I grew up near Vancouver in Canada, and hockey is just something that everyone kind of does.
When I started at the Coliseum, that was my first exposure to hockey.
I went to a parochial high school back in the 60s. There's no avenue for the kids to be exposed to hockey, to take up hockey.
We had black and white TVs back then, so barely got to see hockey.
Hockey is for everybody, but as you see, hockey isn't everywhere. For every person who's come to the game means a different and unique path to it.
The cold winters there, so everybody's outside in the ponds playing, so it's just natural to be a hockey player there for sure.
Coming up, I didn't even know there was a sport called hockey, if I'm being completely honest.
In our community, there's no avenue for the kids to be exposed to hockey, to take up hockey.
When I was in kindergarten, my dad would always take me out of school and he would take me to the arena by us and he would teach me how to skate there.
Urban areas we don't have the facilities, or didn't have the facilities. No one can get you to a rink that was further away and you didn't have the equipment given to you, so.
Sometimes hockey gets a rap for not being able to they're kind of exclusive to maybe some communities that can afford it.
Hockey is an expensive sport.
It's kind of expensive.
With hockey, a lot of times it's an expensive sport to play, so not everybody's able to get into the sport. So I think if we can continue to have programs that are helping people that are less privileged or in different situations, I mean, it's going to help just grow the game in general for people.
You don't have to come from a certain place or look a certain way to love hockey. You just have to. And once you see it, once you feel it, we know you will.
I didn't know anything until I went to college at Bowling Green State University, which is definitely a huge hockey town and school.
In the 80s, Michigan State, Michigan, and the Big Ten, they were one of the top teams.
Some of my friends invited me to a hockey game and I was like, okay, let's go.
Being an athlete, we used to go to the games, and that was my first real exposure to hockey, and that's what made me like it.
I've been playing hockey since I was about 3 years old. It's so natural there. Everybody's playing hockey. Everybody wants to be a hockey player.
I didn't actually play ice hockey until I was probably 7 or 8. Finally convinced my parents to let us get on the ice a little bit later than most kids would in Canada.
I mean, my parents were huge in me being in hockey. I mean, my dad, obviously, he taught me the game. He taught me so much about it, and they just taught me just different values that I always keep in mind in hockey and in life.
I'm an ex-football coach. Just the competitive nature draw me to the game.
I would say the competitiveness, speed.
Well, at first I didn't like hockey, but right now I really love hockey.
It's infectious, you know. If you got any kind of competitive juice in your body, in your nature, you gotta like it.
When I got here, I got close to the game. I saw behind the scenes. And you're an athlete, you want to know how every sport operates and the rules.
The fan experience, the way the fans come and they enjoy it, I like throwing the pucks out to the crowd, to the kids.
I love it when the team gets warmed up and they get to fighting.
Yeah, I like to see the fights and the quick skating. And
it seems like after the fights, they play better.
While anyone can be accepted in the game of hockey, it hasn't always been that way. And there's still work to do to give everybody a chance to know a beautiful game.
I think hockey in general is trying to become more diverse and recognizing that it hasn't been diverse in the past.
I think I was the only black guy at the rink at the time watching the game.
I don't see too many African Americans driving the Zamboni.
Hopefully that's starting to change, and people from all different walks of life and feel like it's a safe space for them to pursue their goals and their dreams.
I mean, there weren't so many kids that looked like me when I was playing, but teams I've been with have been amazing. The teammates and coaches and leagues I've been have been great, and I think it's just makes you comfortable, and it just really just doesn't become a thing that you're thinking about. So I think it's really something that you kind of take for granted at times, I guess, but it is something to really appreciate for sure when you're just considered the same as everybody else.
I've been a big part of this family for a long time, and they accepted me with open arms.
Cleveland and hockey have brought us together. We want to bring the change we want to see. The Monsters and the whole Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse family are committed to providing exposure and delivering opportunity in Black, urban, and other underrepresented communities.
Access points are really a hurdle for a lot of kids that looked like me when I was younger, and just getting to places and transportation and making sure that we're able to get these opportunities to kids. That's been a big thing that I've been super excited to just work on and just really have our staff really jump on board as well. Fortunately, I've been taught by the great Jock Callender, kind of relate that, and we've had great conversations just regarding just how continuously can we teach and continue to talk to young kids and just really relate it to their age group.
The Monsters have done such a good job of making it something where kids can just come and put a stick in their hands and run around and just kind of have fun playing hockey and not have to worry about whether or not you can skate or whether or not you have money. It's just about, you know, being able to be introduced to the game.
Well, it starts grassroots. You have to go to rec centers. They have to be introduced to schools. And those teams, a lot of them are self-sponsored. Some of them are sponsored through the rec centers. So the only way that the Black and brown community can be exposed to this sport is to have this sport available to whereas you can have the qualified coaches for these kids to bring them up in the sport.
Come to them, meet them where they're at, kind of mentality, and kind of draw them back in and keep them coming out and making it you know, easy for them to be a part of it.
Yeah, the Monsters are doing a great job in the community, exposing it to it. They're holding different events. They're bringing the young kids into the arena, and they're showing them the game.
I do feel good, and we're definitely in a great direction. I think we have a super advantage with our DE&I team and being able to really just focus our efforts into certain communities to start, and which obviously just leads us to the opportunity to continue to expand and grow.
I mean, if you can play, you can play. So I think it's just about continuing to grow the game and grow awareness to these type of things, and hopefully we can go in the right direction.
Everybody's not going to be a skater. Everybody's not going to be that top goalie, but you can impact the game of hockey. The things that you can do that's not on the ice is important as well, because everybody's not going to be a skater. Everybody's not going to be that top goalie, but you can impact the game of hockey outside of being on that rink.
I get them out there and I get them on the Zamboni. You know, come out and ride with me, and I guarantee you enjoy it.
Hockey is for everybody. For everybody who can hold a stick or lace up some skates. For anyone who can see the gold lamp light or hear the horn blast. For anyone who can feel the rush and the energy of the game. For anyone with the passion for the teams and players that represent them, their communities, their city, and the game. If you love the game, help us grow the game.
I think just continuing to make the game more fun for the youth and continuing to promote it to kids and just really making an accessible game. There's so many players that prove that no matter what your race or sexual orientation, gender is, I mean, if you can play, you can play.
I am a hockey fan for life, particularly the Cleveland Monsters.
Oh, it's in the blood now, because, you know, working this close to it, you know, it's part of me.
I didn't even imagine even doing a hockey game or even driving a hockey game, but right now I really like doing what I'm doing now. I really do.
The passion that you know, you have for a sport, you know, don't let anything stand in your way of being a part of that and trying to pursue your love for the game.
Any way you would ever imagine back when you were 10 years old, you'd be in this spot right now talking about hockey?
Never.
But it's awesome though, right?
It's awesome.